Hello, welcome to JavaScript Fundamentals tutorial. In this tutorial, you are going to learn how to declare variables of different data types in JavaScript. So, as usual, I have my boilerplate ready to go, except that on this web page, we are not going to display anything in the body section, but rather we want to track what we are doing in the console. So let's quickly go to our code and start working on JavaScript. What is data type? A data type is more like a way to decide and define the kinds of data that a variable should store. And the kinds of data determines the kinds of operations that will be valid on that particular data or variable. So there are various types of data in JavaScript and generally in programming, but let's concentrate on JavaScript data types. So the first data type we are going to deal with already, you are all familiar. I will use let for now. Okay. You are all familiar with the name, the let keyword, which is used to declare a variable. All right, so I'm going to use let keyword to declare a variable called John Doe. That's the name variable is assigned the value John Doe. So there is something I want you to take note of here. It wouldn't be possible, or it won't work fine, if we have declared this without using a bracket, a speech mark around it. So you can see this is not actually valid. All right. So that is why anytime you are enclosing it, anytime you're declaring a variable, you have to declare that variable based on having in mind the kind of data type it should be declared in. So this is a string variable, which means that the value of a string variable or any string literal must be enclosed using double quotes or even single quotes. So if you don't use this, you can actually use single quotes. All right. So I can actually use single quotes to just put things in order. So these two will work perfectly well. All right. And let's look at it in the console. Okay. So let's look at it in the console. I think we are using a kind of something deprecated. Let's use constant. It's showing us, but it's going to display, so never mind this for now. So let's walk around it and see. Yeah, John Doe is there. So it's actually requesting that we should use const. But let's just have that walk around and see what things look like. Most times when you're declaring a constant or a string variable, it will require that that string variable be declared in const. So we're not going to pay much attention to that. So let's leave it the way it is for now. So while we learn the other ones, right? Okay. So there's another one which is also a number variable. What I'm going to do here is that I'm going to comment this line and declare a number. Okay. So let me declare a number, and that number I'm going to declare is something like age. John Doe's age is more like 16. Now there's something you notice here. This 16 is not enclosed in this double quotes, okay, or single quotes. It's simply written as it is because it's a numeric variable. All right. So when I write it to the console, you are going to see 16 there. All right. So later on, you are going to learn how to actually check the type of variable this is by using console.log. Okay. Then we have a type of what data we're checking, age. Let's look at it here, and you can see that age is number, right? So that is what we have here. And if we remove the name and also console and say .log, maybe putting something here and saying name is, let's add this type of name, and let's get it working. Okay, so name is string, right? So as you can see, name is string, age is number, and let's continue with that. We flow with all of this, and let's see how things actually pan out here. Okay, I'm going to comment this. I'll comment this, and I'll comment this, right? And let's go to the next variable. The next one I'm going to declare is Boolean variable. So Boolean variable is more like the type of variable that accepts two constants, true or false. So it is either you assign it true or you assign it false, nothing in between. All right. So I'm going to have another variable called is adult, just like asking to know whether someone is an adult. So it's going to be true if the person is an adult, and it's going to be false if it's going to be if it's not an adult. So is adult is type of is adult. So let's look at it and check whether it's going to give us Boolean. As you can see, is adult is Boolean, right? So let's continue with the next one, which is arrays, right? So how to declare an array? Array is a kind of data type that contains multiple values, but these values are stored in a single variable. So say for instance we have different names of students, or maybe let's start with numbers. I think that should be easier for us to write numbers. Then the way you declare an array is that you will go ahead and declare it as a variable. Just assign the values, the literals of an array to a variable, and the values in this array will be separated with a comma. So I have 2, 1, 5 for now, and I just have to put everything here and terminate, of course. So here I want to assume that numbers is going to return the type array. So let's look at what we're going to have here. So you can see number is object. So it's showing us that number is object. We know, of course, that this number is that an object is an array is a kind of object on its own, but that does not dispute the fact that we can treat it specifically as an array, because this this square bracket is what we use to declare an array in JavaScript. So if we go ahead and actually console this array numbers, let's observe what it gives us in the console. So as you can see, it gives us the value as they appear. So this is technically a valid data type, and the data type declared in this way in JavaScript is called an array. So remember that you must enclose the values using square brackets, and each value must be separated from the other using a comma, right? Okay, so the next one we are going to deal with is going to be an object. So principally, an object is a kind of variable that stores multiple values, but these multiple values are going to have key value pairs. So let's look at what an object will look like. Okay, so say for instance I want to declare an object called persons, all right? So so a person will have different attributes. So I'm going to include these attributes as key value pairs, meaning that I'm going to have the name. Let me write first name or F name. Right? So F name is going to be John, and L name is going to be Doe, and finally age is going to be 16. Right? So here, for us to actually access this, I am going to first of all start by writing what this is: person, the data type. Let's confirm the data type, person, and we expect an object. Of course, this is what we have here, an object, right? So we have to be very keen about how we look at this object, this particular kind of object, right? And I'm going to console it and observe what happens to the console. So when you console, it gives you the exact things. That's the literal values as they appear: first name, last name, and age, right? So to access an individual property or attribute, like in this case first name, I'm going to just use dot notation. So I can use dot notation F name, and let's observe it. It should give us John. As you can see, it gives us John. We can also access this using a square bracket notation, where we now write the key as, where we now reference the first name using F name as the key using square brackets. Okay, so let's observe whether we're going to get the same thing. Of course, we get John. So why don't we change this to L name so we are sure that we are doing the right thing, right? So you can see Doe is there. Two ways of accessing object properties. The first one is using dot notation. The second one is using square brackets. Okay, so that is where we're going to stop for this lesson, and I will hope to meet you in another lesson. If you have not subscribed, please kindly do so, and share and like. Meet you in our next tutorial. Thanks for watching.